The rental rates are up 20% from last year, and you can expect them to be higher this year. Yeah, this is going to be my annual Q2 rental report in preparation for the summer rental frenzy that's going to happen. Investors, pay attention. You want to know how the rents are doing so you can position your property properly this year. Now, if you are looking for some help on how to navigate this real estate market and navigate it with an information advantage, you can book a call with me using the link that's on the screen. It's right here. It's www.chatwithzen.com. Simply click on the date and the time that works best for you. And then when you see the prompt, fill in your name, email, mobile phone number, and the question you have for me, and then we'll chat then. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Properties TV. My name's Zen, and I run and operate a RE/MAX brokerage in the Greater Toronto area, on top of making awesome educational content for real estate just like this one for you. Now, if you found these videos helpful in your real estate journey, whether it be buying your first home, buying your first investment, selling your home right now, or just like general curiosity about the real estate market, help me spread the knowledge by smashing that like button and subscribing to the Prime Props channel. Because there's an unspoken rule about YouTube, which is free content, like and subscribe, right? Okay, so the annual Q2 rental report and kind of why I do it, it's because it's for the preparation of the frenzy that will be spring and summer rental season, right? So where do I start? Oh, I know, how about this right here? Rental rates are up 24.8% from last year this time. What the heck, right? There are a lot of numbers about how high rents have gone, and depending on which subset of data you use, it'll fluctuate, but generally you're still gonna be around 20% increase from last year, which is pretty wild. It is really wild. I remember the biggest jump we had for rental rates was in 2018 and 2019, where we saw double-digit rent back then, which was 10 and I think 13 or 11 and 13%. But now we're at 20%. Rather silly, right? So when rental rates are this high, it's indicative clearly that there is a lack of supply. Now here is a chart of how quickly rental rates are moving right now from the previous month, so in February. And you can see it doesn't really move much around this time. It really generally hasn't in the last decade I've been doing this. All the changes essentially happen in spring and summer in the upcoming months. And like I was saying, this is exactly why I provide the Q2 rental report about what the heck is happening right now. Now, why market rents are up 20% from last month, I have no idea. I really don't know. But here's a chart showing you what type of properties are for rent. And as you can tell, it's the same story over and over again each year. Lots of condo, apartment, high rises, tons of them, but not enough low rises, meaning 3-bedroom ground-based homes. Now, this is exactly like the resale market. And the partial house is the splitting of the homes, whether that just be someone renting out 1 or 2 bedrooms, or maybe they converted their basement or their coach house or garage, garden home, right? And it's nice to see that number actually growing, because it means that the private investors are creating more affordable missing middle rentals in there, because, as we know, the public sector is not doing it. Now, to further elaborate on the family housing crisis we have in the GTA, you can see over here that there really aren't that many 3-bedroom options. And this is the exact same thing I was saying earlier for resale. We don't build enough family-sized homes anymore, and that's kind of a big problem. And when you have a nice family-sized home, whether it's resale or rental, it's getting bids. Now, here's the data from the GTA plus other cities in regards to the rental rates. And I'll leave it up here for you to look at. But essentially, for you to get a place by yourself in the Golden Horseshoe or Southern Ontario, which is where most of these cities are and where most of the people in Ontario actually live, you're not going to be able to find anything for less than $1,500 or about $18,000 per year. So if you use that affordable metric that everyone insists on using, housing should be a third of your income, 30% give or take. This means that the average income can barely afford a 1-bedroom on their own in London, Ontario. Yeah. That's how bad affordability has gone. Just kind of let that sink in, right? And this is why most people are actually paying more than 30% of their income for shelter, right? This is exactly why a lot of people have resorted to staying at home with their parents or renting out a room or a basement because it's cheaper. And here's the sad thing. I don't think it's improving. It's almost kind of too late to try to bring more supply in the short term to fix any of the problems we're seeing right now, because there's just so much bottlenecking for increasing supply right now. Now, let's talk about what to expect this year for rents, right? So here's a chart showing you the movements of rent so far. The seasonality of the rental market is that nobody usually moves in like late fall, so call it after like Thanksgiving, Canadian Thanksgiving, or winter months, right? This is why I always encourage my investors, if you have a vacancy where it's seasonally slow, get it filled ASAP. Now, for the rental rates, you can kind of see like they usually come down a little bit around that seasonality, but they start to pick up in April, hence the timing of this video, right? Given that we were, keyword, we're expecting a record number of condo completions this year, remember this article like 3 months ago or so, right? I really wasn't expecting a massive rent increase this year despite seeing a 20% last year. That plus, interest rates would be reducing the amount of demand for investors, which means that there should be less rental supply. A lot of people may be buying. But I think I've changed my mind now because of 2 reasons. One, the relenting immigration numbers that we just got last week. While the million plus miscount of immigrations will take time to affect the resale market, I do think that it's going to impact the rental market very, very fast. I don't see them letting less people in this year. And even if they do, it's still very close to a million, right? So I don't see much relief on the rental supply side. And we're probably going to break 40 million people in Canada sometime this year. The second reason why I changed my mind is where the heck is this supply, right? Look over here. Just like the resale market, I don't see squat right now. If you look at the chart here, we're supposed to get that like 18,000 new condo units complete in the first half of 2023. And we have less rental listings than we did 2 years ago. Yeah. And if you look at the chart over here, if I isolate just for condo, which is where most of the 18,000 units are supposed to come from, it's the same. Yeah. I don't see supply coming online unless it's magically happening all at once in the next 3 months. So let's look at the months of inventory for rentals. It's essentially the same as the last 5 years with one minor anomaly. So it doesn't seem to be much of a supply imbalance at the moment. And if anything, this data tells me that we still have a demand imbalance. That's the problem, right? And finally, let me show you 2 important charts. The first one here is comparing the aftermath of the crazy spring to summer 2022 rental market. And you can see that right here. You can effectively see prices are, down a tiny bit by average, but the median number is exactly the same, meaning the middle number, which means prices really haven't moved. Properties are renting out, but at a much lower pace, and there is more negotiating power for the tenants right now, as I was telling you, due to seasonality. So nothing's changed in like the last 4 or 5 months, right? And this is why I was thinking maybe rents wouldn't go up because we're supposed to have a lot of supply. But here's the problem we have right now. All the activity that is going to happen generally happens in the summertime. And this is what happened last year in the summertime. You can see if we move that subset of data back 3 months, that's where you see the $500 rent increase in the median price and a little bit more than $500 on the average price in 3 months. That's where all the rental increase happened. Yeah, and I say this every single year. The rented over ask number gets very close to 20% or 1 in 5 properties during this time. It's pretty frenzied. And this is what sets the market for the following months. And unless we see that big time supply injection, which we were promised, these numbers aren't going down. Are we going to see something similar in 2023 this year in the next 3 to 4 months? I think so. And this is why I'm concerned, because of the massive amount of immigration we got and probably going to continue. And this massive injection of supply just doesn't seem to be coming anywhere or anytime soon. Now, hopefully we don't see the 20% rent increase like we did last year, but any increase from here just isn't going to be good at all, because at the end of the day, rents are inflationary, as everyone is now acquainted with that term now, and there doesn't seem to be any deflationary pressures on the rental market, meaning prices aren't going to be getting cheaper anytime soon. But again, we'll see. This is just my thinking right now. Now, here are a couple other anecdotal pieces of evidence I can tell you about the rental market from our team. One, there are a lot of new immigrants who are coming. We're seeing a lot of applications with no credit score, but they are providing multi-month rent deposit upfront, starting with like 6, maybe sometimes up to a year. That is very normal from all over the world. We're also seeing more people rooming together than we ever had before, meaning not related people renting out multi-bedroom properties. Now, the other big unknown that I'm constantly trying to get an answer for is how many students are the post-secondary institutions letting in this fall? That's a huge driving factor to our rental supply. And if you have any real-time data on this, please send it to me. I would love to take a look and chat about it. Anyways, that's a wrap here, and hopefully this kind of gives you an idea of what to expect in the rental market this year in 2023. And if you are looking for some help on how to navigate the real estate market, whether you're buying, selling, or investing so that you can actually get information advantage when working with real estate agents, you could book a call with me using the link that's on the screen. It's www.chatwithzen.com, and it will be me on the other line calling you. Until next time, your move, your future. See ya! Now that I'm done watching this video, I think you should check out this video. And you know what? Why don't you check out this video too?